All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Ken Meeks with the Ken Meeks Show. No, actually, we flipped it around today. This is Sateesh as guest hosting for the Ken Meeks Show. And today I'm going to be interviewing Ken Meeks to sort of get a little bit of background on how Ken got started in this whole game. I know he gives a lot of credit to God, so I just, I figure let's turn the tables around and bring Ken Meeks onto his own show to kind of get a little bit of detail about him. So Ken, tell us what's going on, bro. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. It feels kind of odd sitting on this side, man, but you just said it. I give all the credit to God, man, everything. I'm from a small town called Drew, Mississippi. I like to say large town now, being that, I've left from it. Population about 2,000.
Now, Drew, Mississippi, how far is that from Jackson? I know Jackson.
About 2 hours.
About 2 hours.
Yeah, it's in the Delta, flat land. I love it because you can look and see the sky for miles and miles. It's not like, in the city where you got the buildings and that blocks your view. Mm-hmm. You can go out, man, and see the sky for miles.
So you coming from Drew, Mississippi, and I know you spent some time in the military, and I've gotten, from working with you, I've gotten bits and pieces. If y'all didn't know, I'm one of Ken's DPs. Right. So over time, I've pieced together bits and pieces of your story, and I was just really curious. So you coming from Mississippi, I got family from Macomb, Mississippi, and
right.
You went to the military, and now you're in Hollywood and Atlanta, LA, doing all these things. How did this whole journey come together for you, man? Wherever you want to take it from.
I'm gonna take it from the beginning.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, man, like I said, I grew up in Drew, Mississippi, small town, population 2,000. Most of my friends that I grew up with are no longer here today. As a matter of fact, Drew stands for D-R-E-W. We used to say drugs running east and west. My father told me, he said, look, I want you to join the military, right? He said, I only want you...
How are you at that point?
I was about 18.
18. Mm-hmm.
He said, I only want you to do 4 years. Do 4 years and get out, right?
Right.
My mom wanted me to go to college, right? So I was enrolled at Rush University, and I ended up taking an ASVAB because one of my friends who's no longer here today, he said, Ken, I'm gonna join the Navy.
Now, ASVAB, for people that don't know, is what?
The military test, right? Mm-hmm. So he said, Ken, I'm gonna join the Navy. And I said, man, my uncle's in the Navy, my Uncle Jeff. He's in the Navy. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna take the test. I wasn't serious about it.
Yeah.
I just took the test. At the time, we needed a reason to leave class, right? So I said, okay, I'll take that test. I took the test, failed the test. You thought I was gonna say I passed it, didn't I?
Okay.
No. I failed the test.
Plot twist.
The Drew, Mississippi system sucks. No, but I failed the test. And then my sister, Tamika, she, months later, she was like, you know what? I'm gonna take the ASVAB. I'm gonna join the Navy. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna take it again. Took the test, failed it again. Failed the test. So I'm like, man, I can't even pass ASVAB. What am I going to do with my life, right? At this point, it's a challenge, right? To pass the test.
Right.
Not going to
just
the
on
Navy.
GP now. You
just on
like,
GP.
I ain't about to let this beat me.
Just on GP, because if I start something, I love to finish it. So I went, I locked down, I studied. Took the test again, passed it. So I ended up passing the test.
Third time's a charm.
All of my friends that took the test, they failed it. I was the only one passing it. And I was supposed to go in on the buddy system. The buddy system is me and my friend go to boot camp together. We go through boot camp because I know him. He knows me or her. But they couldn't pass the test. So I ended up going to boot camp alone. So the way that happened was I'm sitting on the couch with my mom, right? I've already enrolled into Rush University. I was supposed to go to Rush University. That Monday I was supposed to enroll. It was a Sunday. So this guy, I forgot all about the ASVAB. I forgot all about enrolling. I forgot all about it. So this recruiter pulls up to my home. He said, it's time to go. I said, what you mean? He said, it's time to go. You got to go down there, got to take you to MEPS, and you got to start the boot camp. So I looked at my mom, and I said, Mom, should I join the Navy? Or should I go to college?
So they didn't even let you know you passed? They just like, oh, he already came?
No. I knew I passed. I knew I passed.
Okay.
I knew I passed the test and everything, but I passed the test. They gave me a date and all that. Called the recruiters.
Yeah.
But the recruiter had already said back then, we didn't really communicate with the recruiter.
Recruiter, yeah.
We didn't communicate with the recruiter back then. It was like, okay, you put this, especially in Mississippi, you put this in, okay, you're in, I'm coming to get you. That's how it was back then.
Okay.
So the guy came and got me, right? So I'm looking at my mom. She was like, whatever you want to do. So I didn't want to go to college and have my mom paying for everything, you know, needing money for food,
Loans and stuff.
loans,
Yeah.
all of this stuff, right? So I said, okay, I got into the car. Got in the car, went down to Jackson, Mississippi, picked my job. Okay, moving forward. Did the military thing. The military wasn't for me in the beginning because I came from Drew, Mississippi. You know, I wear my suits and everything, but, you know, it's a little hard shell up under this, right? So I got into a couple of fights in boot camp. You know, guys telling, you know, we from Houston, got people coming from Texas. We from Houston.
Now, where were you doing boot camp? Where were you stationed for your
Great
boot camp?
Lakes.
Great Lakes.
Great
Oh,
Lakes
you
in the
back up in Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I'm from. Okay.
So I'm surrounded by all these people. We from Houston. We from New York. Okay, where you from? I'm from Drew, Mississippi. Drugs running east and west. What?
Drugs running east and west.
So I got in this. I got into a lot of trouble, man. But the petty officer at the time. So the petty officer was the leader over the whole company, right? So he saw something in me. He was like, man, I like you. I like you. So he put me in charge of the whole command. We called that RPOC. So I was in charge of everything. And the thing is, if you graduate as an RPOC at the end, then you can start your career as an E3 and not an E1. But I lost,
which is higher pay.
Which is higher pay. But I lost that position because I couldn't swim. Imagine me joining the Navy, I couldn't swim. So what they did was, in order to pass your swim test, you got to go up to this 12-foot high pole and jump off. So I couldn't swim. So I walked up the stairs, psyched myself out. I looked straight and I jumped. But when I jumped halfway down, I realized, brother, you can't swim. Right. So I hit the water. So I'm in the bottom fighting. So they also had Navy SEALs at the bottom that they grab you or whatever. So I'm in the bottom fighting, and the guy grabbed me and he brought me up and he threw me to the side. And he said, you can't do that. You can't fight underwater. Next time you do that, you're done, right? So I had to get up there and do it again. They said, this time when you go up there, spread your arms, flap down, go up. Y'all know how to swim. I don't, so this is what they told me.
Yeah.
So I jumped this time, went into the water, did what they told me. SEALs brought me up, I passed. So that's my Navy career. I did 21 years in the Navy, retired, right? So I started writing while I was in the Navy.
Hold on, you just skipped a whole bunch of, you said I went from not swimming, to 21 years.
I'm trying to speed it up because we ain't got
I can edit. Now, you know, I'm
okay,
I can edit it.
Okay,
so,
we'll go back.
So I just want to notice the 21 years. Okay, so I mean, did you see action? Did you go to different places? You know, did you get stationed different places, or what? You know, any kind of experiences there that left a mark on you?
Yeah, I did. So I was stationed in Virginia. I went from Virginia to Meridian, Mississippi, to Iraq, Bahrain, back to Virginia. Right. So the best place that I've ever visited in the Navy was Jerusalem. Because Jerusalem, I actually saw everything that they talked about in the Bible. You know, the rock that Jesus died and was born on, the Star of David, all of that. When you walk into Bethlehem, which is a cave, right? Walk into Bethlehem, you see pictures all on the wall that Michelangelo had. Queen Sheba, back in the days, she passed through Jerusalem and Bethlehem, and she heard about this King Jesus, and she wanted him to look like a king. She felt like she was going to be blessed if she spent a lot of money, and she put gold all over the place. You know, you can't put a value on some of the stuff that's in that place. But
I know faith is a big part of your life. Now, I imagine coming from George running east and west to Jerusalem.
Right.
I mean, that's a heck of a dichotomy, a heck of a contrast there.
Right.
How did that affect you spiritually? Like, did it feel like a pilgrimage? Did it feel
Let me tell you what happened.
Yeah.
So what happened was, when I left Jerusalem, I felt like, look, Ken, you can't do any wrong now because you actually saw what the Bible is talking about. You see it. So you ain't got no excuse. When you go back, you got to be 100% good.
Straight paper.
Other people, they got an excuse, but you saw it. You was there. You have no excuse. For a whole month, I was good. After that month, you start psyching yourself up. God, if I do that, the Bible say you'll forgive me if I do this. You start quoting stuff from the Bible to yourself. If I do this, the Bible say, you are forgiven, God. You do this. So I kept doing that until I went back to my old ways. But I never left God's side, and I know he never left mine, man. And faith, just this morning, I was listening, to this gospel song, that the words was, you may say it's all good, but I say it's all God, right? So every day, man, that's what I live by. I live God. You asked me, you said people may say, how did Ken get here, from the military? You might have veterans out there looking at me saying, yo, how did you do it? I didn't do it, man. And I keep telling people that I did not do it, God did it. Even today, I got a phone call saying, hey, I got a person that you really need to interview. And they told me the name. I was like, what? Right? I don't have 1 million views, 1 million followers. I don't have that. All I have is me, my personality, and God. And I keep getting blessed over and over and over and over again.
So Ken, tell me, there's this place where I want to go now in terms of your story, the arc of your story. You talk about Jerusalem, you talk about the time in the military. That's 21 years.
Right.
I'm curious. I had some friends that went to Iraq and then they came back not the same. Did you ever go through combat through any time aside from your time in Jerusalem that left an impact on you when you were in the military? Was there something where you saw something or experienced something during your tour of duty that changed you in some way? Well, if not, that's okay. I'm just curious.
No. And when I was in Iraq, man, bombs was going off every day. You wake up, bombs. You go to sleep, bombs. But it was so normal that I really didn't skip a beat. I used to walk around with my M16. When I went to the shower, I had to have because you never know when something will pop off.
Yeah.
So me being from Drew, I'm gonna tell you something that happened to me. So one of the Iraqis, what they used to do is they used to come on base and they used to dump the porta potty, right? So we used to have to ride around with them. So I got a long story short, I got into a truck with one of these Iraqis, and he jumped out the truck. He had a red gas can, right? He was dashing it on the truck. So I jumped out, I cocked my weapon back. I said, man, what are you doing? You trying to, what are you trying to blow us up? Because I'm going home.
Right.
I got a family to go home to. I'm going back home.
Right.
So to come to find out, it was just water. But I was like, you picked the wrong thing to put some water in, the red gas can. So that was something that I went through. But coming back home, man, I think it was about a week, if somebody clapped, you'd think you heard. But after that, I was right back into it. But some people don't snap out of it, man.
Yeah.
Some people get locked into it.
Yeah.
But me, like I said, God, I know that I have a lot to do, a lot to accomplish, man. And my grandma used to always say these words. She used to always pray, God, please keep me in my right mind. God, please keep me in my right mind. And I never understand what that meant, right? Until that time. So many people don't even know if they're coming or going. But after all I've went through, I'm still in my right mind, man. So yeah. So
all right. So now when you left, you retired from the Navy. What brought about your retirement? Was it a certain time limit that you said, okay, I'm in for this amount of time and then I'm moving on to the next thing?
No, it was time to get out.
It was just time to go.
Yeah.
So when you're looking to make that pivot, because not every veteran has, the ability to make that pivot and adjustment depending on what they've been through, how did you determine, all right, I'm going to leave the military now and I'm going to choose the next endeavor? How did you think about how you're going to deal with life after the military?
Well, I didn't know. What I did know, when I was in the military, I wrote 2 books, right? I wrote 2 books. I had big dreams of making these books become movies, right? So when it was time for me to get out, actually I got out May 2020, COVID hit, right? COVID hit. I was like, man, I had some money saved up, but I was like, this COVID, this might not be the great time to get out right now. And so I talked to my mom and she said, son, you gotta trust God.
Is she still down in Drew?
Yeah, she is. She said, you have to believe in God. You wanna get out, believe that God's gonna make it work and it's gonna work. So I said, okay. But then reality kicked in. I said, no, I ain't getting out. It's COVID. I'm just being real with you. I said, I love God.
Reality or God?
I love God. I love God, but these bills got to get paid, right? So I went to my Master Chief and I said, look, I'm going to stay, because I had already put my retirement papers in, but they was letting people who was about to retire extend for 6 months to a year. So I went to him, I said, look, I want to extend or whatever. I put my request shit in. He denied it. They denied it. I said, what? So now I'm mad. Out of everybody in the Navy, I'm the only one they got denied. So I called them. How did I get denied? Boom, 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 boom. You don't change this, then I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go to this person. So he said, calm down. I'm gonna talk to the CO to see what we can do. Went and talked to the CO. I went and talked to mom and I said, Mom, they denied. She said, look, Ken, again, trust God, follow your first mind, all right? So the next day, he called me. He said, Ken, guess what? I got some good news. He said, you approved. You approved to be extended 6 months to a year. I said, you know what, Master Chief, thank you, but I'm getting out. I said, I got to trust God. I said, God, and I said, I know it's scary. We're in the middle of a pandemic. But I said, God got me. I said, God got me, and I'm going to trust him. And I got out. And I made more money than I ever did being in the Navy. And it was the best decision that I ever made. Because I got out, I filed for unemployment. That's when they was giving that big pandemic money, right? Filed for unemployment. Then I got a job offer. Got a job, started me off paying, really good.
What kind of work were you doing in between? What did you do? You recruited? Okay.
Yeah, I was recruiting. Well, for 6 months, I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
I just chilled. And I was like, I don't know where money was coming from, man, but it was coming. And I had already had some money too. But when I started my recruiting job, it's like I never missed a beat. And then November 2021, after I tried to make a movie out of Trustworthy Eyes Can't See Everything, that's one of my books, quotes my grandmother say, and Trustworthy Eyes Can't See Everything. I said, you know what? I need to put myself out in front. And I started a talk show. And at first, I was like, you know what? This is going to be the biggest celebrity talk show ever. And everybody was like, no, you got to start low.
So where were you living at this time? Where
in Atlanta.
You were living in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And you that's where you were doing your recruiting work, right? So you're doing your recruiting work, living in Atlanta. You're like, hey, you know what? I have this thing. I want to maneuver my books into a larger thing, talk show, because I need to put myself on Front Street to kind of drive this thing forward, right? So how did you come up with the idea of a talk show and celebrities? Where did that come from?
A vision, man. So when I was in the Navy, a sailor named Kamika Alexander, she's always say, this ain't the Ken Meeks Show. This ain't the Ken Meeks Show. And I used to be like, this is the Ken Meeks Show, right? So I'm thinking in my head, I say, you know what, this Ken Meeks, I'm gonna create the Ken Meeks Show. And that's where that idea came from, man. And I said, so I reached out to one of my friends. She's a celebrity cook. She knows everybody, right? So I reached out to her and she was like, can you move it too fast? I need you to start here. You need to interview this person, this person, this person, this person. I'm thinking to myself, I'm not moving too fast. You're just too slow, right? So, but you know, she's right. Sometimes you have to crawl before you walk. So everybody that she hooked me up with, none of them was available, right? So I said, man. So then, in the building I was living in at the time, one of my friends, BK from Loving Hip Hop.
Yeah.
I said, look, man, I want to interview you. Right? He was one of my first, I guess, celebrities. You're a celebrity, BK. So he's one of my first celebrity guests. And he got on, and it was awesome. But I was still trying to figure it out, right? I was a little nervous, not because of the person, because that was my homie, but because of the cameras.
Yeah.
And the lights and everything. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Then the second person that I interviewed was Michael Blackson. Then Gary Owens. Then Tony Roberts. Then Rodney Perry. And it got to the point, I was like, Mom, I'm doing too many comedians, right? So that's when I met Coco Brown, and she got me Algebra Blessed. Algebra Blessed. I said your name right, Algebra. Don't hurt me. She got me Algebra Blessed, and then everything else just fell into play, man. So within a year, I've interviewed anywhere from 20 to, you name it, celebrities within a year, just starting off. I started off with celebrities.
Now let me ask you this. Where does this mentality come from? Is it something that's from the military? Is it something from Drew? Is it something from your grandmother? Is it a combination of everything?
That's just me, man. I am who I am. Even in high school, man, a lot of people didn't like me because they felt like I was cocky, right? And I used to always say I'm confident. I'm not cocky, I'm confident. And they used to always want me to, turn it down, be humble. But when I turn it down, I'm not me. I'm sitting in a place being somebody else. I'm not going to put anything in your plate to believe in me or to cheer me on. Everybody in this room can be like, you're not gonna do it. And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna do it. That's just me. And that's what got me.
And it don't faze you.
It never fazed. Now everybody say, Ken, I'm so proud of you, but you didn't believe in me.
12 months ago.
12 months ago, you didn't believe in me. You didn't believe I would be right here. Even now, even all those people I just named, they still say, oh, you're not on the major network yet. You've done all this, but you're not there yet. It's coming. So when I get this major network, it's still, even then.
They're going to still have something to say.
Even they're going to have something to say.
Hey, but,
you're on the major network, but it ain't ABC.
But what I'm getting from you, though, is that's actually what you... That
motivates me, man.
You need them to be there.
I need haters. haters motivate me.
It's like fuel to the fire.
Fuel to the fire, man. But you know how I started that with women. Like, they would say high school, they'd be like, you can't talk to this girl. And I used to stutter bad. Like, I couldn't even talk. The first day of school, I should have told you this. First day of school, we used to, how the teachers would line everybody up and ask them what they did over the summer. Yeah. And they'd say, state your name, what you did over the summer. I should be like, my name is... And the kids would be like, Ken One. Your name is Ken One. Right? And I was so embarrassed. I used to go home. Right? But I felt like I'm the man, okay? I can stutter. I'm a little bow-legged. But eventually, all of that stuff became sexy to women. You're bow-legged. You this, you that, stutter a little bit, but you all right. So man, it continued to build my confidence, man. So now I'm here, Ken Meeks Show.
So the girl in the Navy, she went to go, this ain't the Ken Meeks Show.
We talk about it, we laugh about it.
Yeah, this is the Ken Meeks Show. So every time you come on, every time you introduce your show now, you're like, what's going on everybody? This is Ken Meeks with the Ken Meeks Show.
Yeah, Ken Meeks. With the Ken Meeks Show. Yeah.
So Ken, man, I just want to say thank you one more time, bro, for sitting down. Let me turn the attention on you a little bit to just understand your story, because I know it inspired me. Just hearing a little bit, I say, who is this brother? So I appreciate that, man. I think it's going to mean something to somebody else. And even if it's just one person, that makes a huge difference.
Nobody has ever did this, man. You the first person who's ever did a one-on-one about my show. I did many interviews.
Yeah.
But never, I think this is the first sit down about my show and everything, man. So I appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. So, hey, good luck to everything, man. God bless you.
Thank you, bro.
All right, man.
We doing this together, man. We in this together.
Already. So this is Sateesh with the Ken Meeks Show. Wrapping it up. We'll holler at you.
Holla at you.
Yeah.
Persevere through the good, the bad, only make it stronger. You gotta be the better